I think instability is when people are incapable of coping with the stress around them.
A person who is out of control, who doesn't know what they're doing most of the time.
There's not a balance within the world.
Is when life isn't going our way.
Stability.
According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, instability is the tendency to change your behavior very quickly or to react to things in an extremely emotional way. In both the novel The Outlander by Jill Adamson and the play Fences by August Wilson, characters undergo similar events that put their lives in an unbalanced state. The willingness to let go of treasured people and the adaptation to a constant change is a struggle to those reminiscing about past experiences. Both authors use their intriguing techniques to convey the causes and effects of instability through the stories of each individual character. What happens to a person who is unable to move on from the hardships of life? Can instability affect a person's lifestyle? Can one ever find a way out? The Outlander by Jill Adamson. This is Mary, who lost her baby, killed her husband, when she was only 19. After the death of her mother, Mary is raised by a drunk father and a stubborn grandmother who over-controls her. After killing her husband, Mary runs away to the wilderness from her two brothers-in-law that are after her. As Mary was hungry and alone, she meets the rich runner who takes care of her and they fall in love. However, one day, as Mary was sleeping, the rich runner disappears. Mary recovers and finds an Indian couple who direct her towards the town of Frank. In Frank, Mary meets the Reverend and starts living in his house where she acts as a housewife. One day, the town collapses and Mary does her best to take care of everyone. However, when the brothers-in-law find a news article of this issue with a picture of Mary, they discover where she is. Mary goes to prison, but finds a way to escape during the night. She returns to Frank pregnant, where she re-encounters the Ridge Runner, and she's now free. Fences by August Wilson. This is Troy, who lost a chance to play in the leagues, cheats on his wife, does not let his son play baseball, and steals money from his ill brother. One day, Troy reveals to his wife that he got another woman pregnant. Rose is upset and does not talk with Troy for 6 months. When the baby is born, the mother passes away, yet Rose steps in to take care of the child that was not hers. Troy becomes angry and greedy. He does not sign the papers allowing his son to play baseball, and he sends his brother to prison. In addition, Troy is mad as he constantly talks to death. As Troy is hitting a baseball, he collapses and dies. His family are now liberated.
When somebody loses somebody, it is a moment of grief and sadness. It is a moment where you can do the unexpected, and this is because of change. People are used to routine, and when change occurs in one's life, they sometimes do not know how to cope with it. Take the play The Outlander, for example. In The Outlander, Mary loses her son, and by losing her son, she kills her husband. And by killing her husband, she spends years of her life running away from the consequences of her actions. In the meanwhile, in the play Fences, Troy takes loss into a different direction. Instead of suffering from the changes in his life, he makes it worse. He contributes to that loss, and therefore he loses his family.
Hey, cutie.
We're done.
What? How dare you? What's wrong with you?
Throughout time, people have been proven to be needy. People need to feel loved, they need to feel wanted, and therefore they seek for somebody, a partner, a friend, so that they can eliminate their solitude. However, what happens to somebody who lets others lead them? What happens to somebody who doesn't have an opinion? In The Outlander, Mary is needy. Although she killed her husband and she got rid of her husband, she's found with another man. And although that man leaves her, she goes back again and finds somebody who could sustain her. And why? Why? Because of her childhood. Childhood, you may ask? Yes. Although her mother died at a young age and her father was drunk and out of his mind all the time, she had a protective grandmother. A grandmother who made decisions for her. Says the story is totally different. Rose, the wife of Troy, is dependent on him. She has to cook, she has to take care of the house, do the chores, and she has to inform him about every trip she makes outside of the house. When she finds out that he cheated on her, she liberates herself from his traps. She becomes a woman so independent that she does not need him to support her. Overcame instability. She's now a woman with purpose, a woman with goals, a woman with courage, one who can do whatever she wants and still find happiness.
I know it's gonna be so great, honey. We're gonna have so much fun. Me? I mean you. Yeah, you. You're gonna have so much fun.
The past is an important and delicate part of one's life. It is the source of one's identity, and therefore it determines who you are. What happens when your past is full of struggles and hardships? What kind of person does that shape you to be? Some might face their obstacles, but others might enter into this bubble where they will constantly dwell on the events of the past. In The Outlander, Mary is constantly reminded of the events of her past. Due to the murder of her husband, her two brothers-in-law run after her to seek revenge. Therefore, Mary is pressured to dwell on the actions that were committed to secure her existence. Stability is not caused because now she has no home. It is not caused because she has to run away from the life she left behind. It is not caused because she has nobody who can support her and nobody who could understand her. Her instability comes from back then, from the way her husband treated her, the way her husband made her feel, and therefore it led her to commit the crime that she did. Tell me, why did she have to keep dwelling on the past? Why is she being pressured to think that what she did was wrong? Similarly, in the play Fences, Troy constantly reminisces of what he could have been. Due to losing his chance in a major league of baseball, his regrets make others around him unhappy, and he is greedy when others are close to reach the dream he always had. Due to the constant dwelling of his past, Troy does not let his son to be a baseball player because he fears he might steal the opportunity he never had. Well, because he still thinks he has an opportunity, and he doesn't realize his chance has gone by.
Although the characters from both texts are presented in a different perspective where their experiences contrast, all struggle to get past a state of instability. Once the characters are able to cope with the changes in their lives, they will finally discover happiness. You will experience heartaches, you will cry many times, and you will feel lost. Yet those are normal, and we cannot fool ourselves to think that this will be a new lifestyle. After this suffering, all left to do is to let go, and to move on to a new life. This does not mean that the past and experiences will be erased, but instead, it is used as a reminder that we can overcome obstacles, and we were able to see a new light. They will be guides for future decisions, but they will not be constant pressures and torments of our present.